Yeah, Tony, it was Pete Alonso with that home run in the Mets game. Two of them for Big Pete today. He's not. He's ready for the season underway here. Pete Alonso, two home runs today, and yeah, Miami just closed out the Brew Crew 5-2. The final there in that one, Miami. I mean, I'm sorry, Minnesota. You know that Miami over Minnesota 5-2. It's a final in Miami.
All right, final there. So two straight wins for Miami there against the Twins in this series. All right, tonight we go to the NBA. Interesting game here as we have the Raptors and the Boston Celtics here with Boston here favored three, total 223.5.
Yeah, a lot of upset people. I know I'm trying to keep them organized in the Discord a little bit, Tony. Yeah, things are getting a little crazy in the NBA. There's just three games left, you guys. Don't worry. The playoffs are here, or the play ins, whatever they're called. But don't be afraid to look at the way these lines move, and don't be afraid to go against what might be I don't know, call it anti-obvious, right? With some of these plays, especially the big favorites laying a bunch of points. Just lay it. So things like that, Tony. Only a couple more days to go. We'll be in that play-in tournament. Let's talk about one team. Both teams will be into the playoffs, but one is likely in the play-in tournament. That's the Toronto Raptors. They clinched their play-in berth on Sunday, 128-108 over Charlotte. Then they came back and beat them again last night, 120-100, back-to-back 20-point victories over the Hornets. And now Toronto, they do have motivation to get to the number 8 or number 7 spot, even just to avoid that. You talked about it, Tony, the format of the play-in, where you got to either play two games if you're in that low slot, or just one game if you can get to the high slot. So Toronto has motivation here, and look at the line move. Look, I took Boston on the morning show, but Toronto is live in this game. I just thought the line had gone down to 2.5, and that maybe Boston still has the wherewithal to be a little bit motivated. They're trying to stay ahead of Philadelphia. Maybe their spot might lend to the fact that Toronto is very, very live in this game because of the motivation factor. And we'll see what Boston does with the personnel. I'm playing the total here on this one. Boston is the likely number 2, Tony. They trail Milwaukee by 3 with 3 left. They do hold the tiebreaker. Obviously, they'd have to go, complete sweep, and then Milwaukee, of course, would have to, go into the tank a little bit over the last couple of games here this season. So looks like Boston solidified there. They lost to Philly last. Well, let me correct. They lost to Joel Embiid last night. Man, Embiid in the mid range, he's unstoppable. 103, 101. Embiid 52 points as the Sixers held on for that 103-101 win. Now, will Boston, their big questions, and it's questions that we have all the time on the Morning Steve, but more so over the last week or two or three, is who's going to play tonight. Now, Brown missed the game last night, but he's listed as probable today. He has a back injury. Robert Williams, he's injured. He's not on the injury report today, but he missed the game. So, we'll see. I think he might be in there. Big Al, he's out for Boston. So, missing there. Will Tatum play? He's got a hip injury. He listed as questionable right now. Like I said, given Boston's situation, this is what's important. We'll get this news shortly. But Tatum, he's listed as questionable. Will he be in there? Marcus Smart, he's questionable. I would think Marcus Smart might be out of this game. So right now, Boston a 2-game lead over Philadelphia with those 3 games left. So still a little bit precarious, but looks like Boston probably number 2 seed. So I'm going to look for this game to be a little bit more like their last meeting. Boston won 116-110 back in December in Toronto. That was an under, even though it was over this number. Also, they played in January, just 106-104. Boston won that one. These teams will play game number 4 of the season series on Friday night. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two, 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two have gone under. Toronto is 7-19 to the under against teams above 500. Meanwhile, Boston is 10 and 10 of their last 12 games have gone under against teams above 500. So I think in this one, with personnel a little bit shaky on the Boston side, Toronto with motivation, maybe to even play some defense here. They're 1-4 to the under off of a straight up win. They're 2-5 to the under on the back to back. I'm going to look for it to go under. Raptors are 25th in pace, Tony. And I think the motivation is certainly there for Toronto to try to move up to the 7 or 8 spot so they don't have to play the 9-10 matchup. So that's the way I'm going to look at it when it comes to tonight's game with Toronto and Boston. Look, the move is on Toronto, no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure that everyone can see that most of the send out, even the openers, were a bit higher than this, as high as 5. And now what are we looking at? 2.5, 3 maybe. So pretty significant move on a Toronto team. We know Boston, 29 games over 500. They're playing at home. Toronto, a game over 500, and the move is totally on Toronto here. These are the signs you have to take this time of the season. It's tough because you might end up on some sides you don't feel comfortable with, but this is the time if you want to stay involved in the NBA, it's not for the faint of heart these last couple of games. And I don't want any of our viewers to get frustrated if they're playing on their own and wondering, what's going on? Why are these good teams not playing well? Why are some teams losing by 40 points? I will note, Tony, as I send it back to you here, I'll take the under tonight. As I said, 224 when I sent it into you, Tony, but obviously it's lower than that now at 223.5, is it? I thought it was even a little bit now, 224. I have it penciled down at 220 on my numbers, so I might have misquoted earlier in saying what the total is. So you see where I'm headed with this game. I think it's a 220 game or lower. So that's the way I'll look. But Tony, just looking back at the Tankapalooza games over the last several years. And again, it's a little bit different because everyone at the bottom now, those 3 teams, 4 teams, whatever it is, they all get equal ping pong balls. It doesn't matter if they're last, next to last, or second from last. Everybody gets the same ping pong balls. So it's not a big deal once you get to that point. But I don't remember, Tony, the lines going up to 17, 18, 19 points in some of these games. It always seemed to me like those late season games were always hanging around double digits, low double digits, 12, 13, 14. But to see the way, these games keep sneaking up on these bad teams, and what starts out early in the day is a, 15-point spread and goes off at 19, and, they end up rolling them by 25, should be pretty obvious. Put away your record keeping and just market handicap. I'll try to coach it up maybe if I can in the Discord if anybody wants to do that. But it's pretty simple advice. Late in the season, I'm a steam chaser. Everybody knows that, but I'm willing to go against them. Not right now. This is where you want to follow the market, especially if it's telling you that it doesn't make any sense. Well, Tony, it's hard to put a thought into someone's head and just say do it anyways. But that's the way I look at it in the last 3 games of the season here.
All right, Ramon here on the on this Raptors Celtics under 224, 223.5 in some places. It's sharpest book in the world. Some of the sharps are going under with you, Ramon. So that's why we're seeing it. That's where we get the sharpest book in the world is our line source here on our live odds here graphics for the show. Yeah, you got to really know the scenarios and kind of read the tea leaves. It takes a lot of experience here when you do this. If you're in a back-to-back situation late in the league, late in the season, you got a little bit of cushion. You probably will rest guys. I think that's the situation I looked for Boston. That's how I looked at it. I said there is more motivation. If you want to stay away from that 9-10 because it's instant elimination. That 7-8, you do have second life. I mean, if you lose that 7-8 game. What happens there, you lose that 7-8, is that Ramon, you get the shot here at playing one more shot to get in.
Yeah, you get the 9-10. The 9-10 winner plays the 7-8 loser. So that does give you a little bit of hope, but you definitely want to get into that spot, maybe even get the home game in there. So that's definitely the motivation. You see the line move there, clearly on Toronto. Everybody knows Boston is, a elite team this season up there in the East, and Well, I think the situation's a little bit easier to read than the injuries on some of these guys. But again, like Brown, listen, it's probable tonight. He's got that was a back injury. He just missed the game 24 hours ago. So you wonder how long these guys will play and things like that. So I just see that's what we're starting to see, right? We're almost seeing some real extremes out there, Tony, on these totals right now. We're definitely seeing some wild scores too, especially in some of those 140, 115, whatever. But we're also seeing it go the other way in some of the matchups. We've seen some very low scoring teams where the games are starting to, I don't know, they're starting to kind of look like the 80s a little bit again, a little bit with some of these scores. I mean, not, uh, Knicks Bulls unders, but back in the day, remember, the score would be like, 79-75
Yeah.
in the when those guys out there like Oakley was out there and everything, but still we're starting to see games that are hanging around 10, 105, 103, kind of like I mentioned that Boston game against Toronto in January. I think that's what we're headed for tonight, just a game where the teams are barely cracking 100 points in this one. So you're right, no doubt. Keep an eye on uh, the line moves, the patterns, and know the playoff situation for each team. You can't go into a handicap at all without knowing exactly what the motivation is. You look at a team like Boston, if you just take a cursory glance, you'd say, well, they could catch Milwaukee. They're not going to catch Milwaukee. Three with three left, Milwaukee'd have to lose them all. Boston would have to win them all. We're talking about Milwaukee. And we already see that Giannis is in for tonight. So same thing with Boston and Philly. That's a little bit more precarious, maybe. Boston with a 2-game lead over Philly with 3 games left, but really, could they really reverse it? I'm not sure that they can. Boston is going to get one more home game here against Toronto. Toronto could get a big confidence boosting victory tonight, and Boston could come back and backtrack into the next one to make sure they secure it over Philadelphia. They'll have their motivation there, but remember, this is the back-to-back one, and Friday we'll have a day off, obviously, with the Thursday rest day for these two teams as they stay in Boston and play the next game right there. Toronto will stay in Boston tonight and tomorrow, and then play on Friday again.
All right, there, Ramon here on the under. Just note here that Boston score, if we flash 4-4, it's been reversed. The ball was foul. Umpire ruled it a home run. They reversed it to foul, so still 4-1 Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gets out of the inning. So out of the inning there, 4-1 Pitt over Boston's. 3 runs taken off the board there as they go to the top of the 8th. All right, Ramon here on Celtics Raptors under 224. This one will have a start time here, 7:30 Eastern time. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at Tony's picks for today's action. Of course, we got baseball. A couple, 3 games still to go in baseball. As we should be getting that Guardians game started right now. So 2 left on the board, baseball, 3 from hockey. And don't forget, we've got also an 8-game card from the NBA. Ramon, so we'll post that record again for Ramon. 5,170 units of profit. Fantastic results for Ramon for 2023. It is all documented over at Tony's Picks. You can verify that by going to Ramon's handicapper page and checking it out there. So tonight, what do you have going over at the site?
Take the under, free play, next game. You got 1 minute to get it in. Good thing you weren't keeping score yesterday, Tony. We'll plan a little better next time on that wraparound. Tonight, Tony, in the NBA. I think I've got the situation down with a lot of the teams in the NBA. I had to pare it down to 5 plays. I know this is a time where a lot of folks are scared. And yeah, I've had a few bad beats myself, but I feel great about the NBA card tonight. I'm coming with a 5-pack, and I wanted to go a little more, but we just took the 5 best and left it at that. We'll find other ways to distribute it. Maybe we'll get one out there on Twitter as well. So 5 games, just $30 right now. I'm lowering prices right now. I want everyone to capitalize and take advantage of my hot run. With that plus Mr. 5,000 record right now, I want everyone to be able to get involved. They're looking to get a bankroll started. They're not sure. They keep picking their own games and maybe winning some games, losing some games. You can still do that. Just put these 5 plays in your back pocket. Make sure you play them. Make sure you get out on top with me and ensure yourself some winners to keep your bankroll growing and get it ready for the NBA postseason because we know there's no take-a-palooza, Tony. There's no resting players in the postseason. Yeah, there's some situations that injuries could crop up and stuff like that. But the motivations are there. We know what the playoffs are all about. Wins and losses, road and home. Make sure you get involved with my long term package at tonyspicks.com. 3 day, 7 day, 30 day sales are up for me because of this streak I've been on. We're looking to get it hot again here in the next couple of days. We head into the weekend, especially wrap up the regular season, get into the playoffs, but mostly Major League Baseball. You mentioned it, Tony. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be on the night game tonight. Just watch the Royals. Maybe I think my 5 pack is in it. Well, 4 pack. I should have looked at more closely at the weather. Maybe I did see it did say 50% uh, on my chart. So and with a 4 pack today with that early action, and could get 3 winners out of it. So why not get on board with this NBA package? Let's keep it going tonight in the NBA, a 5 pack for just $30. And I got one game still coming on hockey. I just wanted to confirm the goalie, and I'm sure I'll get news here soon on the one game that I'm. I think it's just going to be one game in hockey tonight. So probably throw my $15 play on that. Everybody, stick around for that. Also, Tony. Be in action this week. I did my podcast with my MMA partner. We'll have UFC 287 this weekend. It's a pretty big card. They're going to Miami for the first time in 10 years for the rematch between Pereira and Adesanya, world class kickboxers fighting for the world championship. And Pereira, who upset Adesanya. Adesanya was heading for victory last time when Pereira got the knockout late and took the championship away from him. So it's a big one this week. It's a Adesanya and Pereira too, even though these guys have fought 3 other times. Actually, they fought twice in world championship kickboxing competitions before they were UFC fighters. So it's actually the fourth time that they'll meet with a title on the line. So Pereira and Adesanya 2 is this Saturday, and we'll have that one as well. Brewers just tied it up with the Mets 6-6. Tampa wraps it up 7-2 against Washington. Tony.
That's right. Get on board with most got over at Tony's Picks. We just saw the Rangers take the lead 4-2 on a home run. A lot of action here in the afternoon. Get on board with Ramon. He's got that 5 pack from the NBA. It's guaranteed at $30. Must win or the amount you purchase. Credit back to your account for side credits. That is profit guaranteed. Long-term passes available as well. You get that 1 month pass from Ramon. Get all Ramon's premium plays for 30 days. That would include the remainder of the NBA regular season, playing around, and about the first round and a half of the postseason. Same with hockey. Regular NHL season is over in 1 week, 7 days away. Then we get into the playoff action here next a week from about 10 days from the playoffs from the NHL. Get a lot of about 3 weeks of coverage from the NHL playoffs from Ramon with that 1 month pass, all of his baseball and peripheral sports as well, like the UFC. So remember that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. Access Ramon's page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. You'll land on his page and go ahead and get signed up. All right, Ramon. We got our Twitter account for you over at Tony6Ramon. More content there, as well as, of course, they can find you on the Morning Steam, another show in the books, and, of course, more content over on the Discord.
Yeah, I'll have my Twitter play out. Probably come at you maybe in a late NBA game or maybe that Toronto KC game. I thought Mindy gave a good preview of it, so maybe I'll save it for the NBA game that didn't make my card. A game I do like, a team that, well, let's just say I've faded them a lot of times in this role. I made no bones about it, but we're going to go back to them. We're going to take them this time because that's what we do at this time of the year. So maybe some people who watch the show every day might know what team that is, but I'm going to take a team where I don't usually take them in this role. I would totally be against them, but I'm going to take them tonight because that's what's happening in the NBA. So join us tomorrow for more Morning Steam. We were back today with a pretty busy show, and we'll be even busier tomorrow with the action. So join us on the Morning Steam here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, and 6 Pacific. Mindy, Han, and I go over the card of all the major games on the betting card for the day. Try to do it with a little analysis, mostly just rapid fire picks since we do every game. And, if you need a little extra analysis, we can always talk to you in the Discord. Head on over to our Discord channel. It's up there listed at the top of the chat, and you can get involved in the conversation there. You see everyone. I don't know what we were looking at there, that picture of the weather from Walking Spotted Bear. He's trying to clue us in. Don't go outside, take an umbrella. things like that. And TJ there with his Yankees hat on. Great to see everyone. Hope TJ's okay with that, appearing on the 37,000 subscriber YouTube channel.
That's right, guys. So
We
check
love
us out
our
this
cat,
Discord.
Tony.
More content, more pics from the community. You can see
Oh,
Butterscotch. You'll find his locks there as well. So get on board there on the Discord. Click the link in the description, and you'll get there as well. Don't forget, Ramon Scott is on
awesome.
Twitter. Tony's Picks Ramon is where you'll find him. All right, Ramon, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Shout out Team Steve.
You got it. Team Shout out.